Alrighty then. So here we have human design. I came across human design maybe approximately 4 to 5 years back because I was quite interested as it started to appear online. And after involving self in a lot of tests online, a lot of like different bits, I found it quite interesting because human design, it also uses the time of your birth, location, and date, and everything else that goes with it. So in here we also have a bit of resources that you'll be able to look through, and basically there's one specific creator that I started to like, Cha Wonko. I'm butchering the pronunciation, but there we go. She's awesome at explaining the human design and at exploring it. She has podcasts and she has even like YouTube videos that goes into like a bit more. So basically, when it comes to the human design, it is a system of self-knowledge that differs fundamentally from anything else that exists currently. It's not belief or faith, but is a logical and empirical system that offers you the opportunity to experiment with mechanics and find out about yourself what works for you. So there is like a little bit of this synthesis that was created, traditional and modern, so it's a mix of things. So I used website Bodygraph to craft the human design, and when you go into it, it creates like you put in your data, your time of birth, date, year, place, all of it, and basically it then shows you this graph. So this graph is basically self and not self themes. So within the concept of self and not self, it basically involves of things you, it's kind of like guidelines into things you should do and things you should employ with yourself to kind of like keep on going with, that help you achieve your goals and achieve your kind of like I don't know, state of getting stuff done. So not self themes is basically your assumptions about yourself and what you think you should be doing. So it's kind of like being more reliable on your intuition and on your kind of like inner knowing versus being guided by the perception of others and what they expect of you to be and to do. So when you go into it, you get like a bunch of things, and it's like open centers, you know, like here. So it's like the open centers and the defined centers, as they call it. So currently there are 5 types that define energetic auras: Manifestor, Generator, Manifesting Generator, Projector, and Reflector. We all kind of fall into one of these categories. Understanding your energy type will teach you a lot about your innate qualities to help you to put you like to, you know, in perspective of hows and what. So in case you're a manifestor, you can go online and just do, you know, like pull up your chart to see what's up. So with the manifestors, their bold and spontaneous energy makes you a trailblazer, an innovator who loves to make things happen. Generators, his energy is uplifting, and this draws people to you. You stay busy and seek out things that excite you. Manifesting generators, a blend of manifestor and generator energy, so you're an innovator with boundless energy. Projectors, you see the world in a unique way which draws people to you. You're an analyzer with a gift of seeing patterns in the world around you. And reflector is an empathetic and intuitive energy, sensitive and ever-changing chameleon who reads people and situations with ease. So there's also the one thing that pops out when you do your human design is that the strategy. So each one of these types have a strategy. So the strategy type for the manifest is to inform. So basically, if you learn something, if you kind of get to acquire information, you share it. So it's to inform, to kind of like do things, to teach people maybe, you know, but it differs from person to person because each human design literally has its own kind of like strategies and whatnots and like aspects, and there's a lot more to look at it. For example, if we go, for example, with my design, you can see that there's a lot of undefined centers, as you can see, and there's only 2 that are kind of defined. So with the website is called mybodygraph.com, you can see that there's copies with subscription or without subscription, and basically you get the things that allow you to get to know a bit more. So basically, once you get to it and you go with your details, you can literally input your information and learn a bit more, like, you know, what and how. So in my case, I am a projector, so that means there's, like, you know, around 21% of the population. Purpose is to guide others once you are recognized for your skills. So basically, in the case of projectors, I was boldly thinking only that I should just, you know, sit on my ass, you know, and frankly just explore more, accumulate information, and maybe put out information, you know, and to be recognized for it eventually. But, you know, it's like the thing where you learn a bit more about the strategy. It's like the strategy for this is wait for the invitation. So frankly, thanks to this creator on TikTok, I understood that it's not just you accumulating information and sitting in your cocoon and just, like, you know, waiting for the, I don't know, Holy Spirits to smite the heck out of you and just be like, hey, we have a, you know, proposal, whatever. So apparently that's not the case. And the case for the strategy for the projectors is ultimately not to just sit and wait, but to actually put your knowledge and information out and to actually try and work with people instead of being absolutely a hermit, which I am. And I'm not gonna like stray from that, because I know I am. And from then on, it's about, like, actually putting outside your knowledge and sharing what you have. And some of the people, they say that projectors get better if they, you know, specialize in one thing and they become a specialist, and then they share this, you know, like, knowledge of this specialty, and then they move on to learning something else and they become a specialist in that, and so on and so forth. Whilst the manifestors and generators, they sort of thrive on creating things, because as long as they kind of, like, create, they are more, I mean, in my case, I met a lot of, like, manifestors and generators and even manifesting generators. So frankly, those people are absolutely in their field when they actually go outside, when they actually meet other people, when they do things, participate in events, when they create plans, make basically everything happen, you know, and it really suits them. It's kind of like it's their forte. That's kind of like their passion for life goes through it. They enjoy doing it. And they have a lot of freaking energy for it. With projectors, we have a limited resource of energy, and it's basically our own energy, and unless we protect that and refill it by ourselves, we're getting literally highly drained by people. And it's not the same as, like, you know, it's basically also, I mean, maybe the concept of introvert extrovert might also apply here, with some people getting energized by conversations with others and spending time with others, and they're getting hyped and they're all like, oh my god, now I have so much energy after this party or this event, and they're literally pumped. And in my case, it doesn't matter what kind of event I'm visiting, but, you know, like, what kind of place I'm off to, after every goddamn single event, I'm drained. It doesn't matter if I was happy at the event or I was doing my best to be happy at the event. I only have so much energy to deal with people and to have conversations, because my social battery is actually quite small. And to me, it's a bit troubling to be out there and to be, like, outgoing as an ambivert with a more introverted side. Very hard. Especially it hits me hard when I'm out there in the events and I try to be, you know, like, very outgoing for a bit of time, and then my battery just fizzes out, and all of a sudden everybody gets to look at this very tired face, and they're like, are you okay? Are you fine? You've been so bubbly, you've been so good, like, what happened? Nothing. My energy just drained. I'm done. So I started to just do the thing where whenever I feel like it's gonna go downhill from here, I just do my best to leave, you know, the party at that moment, and I'm gonna be like, hey, bye. So that might actually apply or might not apply to whatever you're doing, but I think with the human design, it's like one of the things that you also get to know. So the authority is also one of the things that are going to be quite meaningful in a way to understand. So in here it says that you have self-projected authority, means that your authority emerges directly from your G center, your identity, and expresses itself through your voice. It is truly about what you hear yourself say, because the source of your spontaneous speech is your identity, yourself. So in some cases, you could say that, in my case, you know, it's how I speak with other people and what I say to them in regards to situations A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. And within the listening to what I reply to their issues or to their things, I get to understand a little bit more about myself and what I honestly think. So that's that. But let's get on with the the PDF. So each one has a corresponding strategy. It tells you how to most efficiently use your energy in your daily life. Following your strategy allows you to use your aura correctly and have a significant impact on your life, so they say. The Manifestor's strategy is to inform. Since your energy is bold and spontaneous, you forge ahead with creative plans, but you don't keep others in the loop instead of going at it alone. Explain your intentions before you act. You're a born leader, so others will assist you. The Generator's strategy is to respond. Your boundless energy is magnetic, but sometimes you're too busy to notice new people and opportunities. Slow down and respond to the things you attract. You don't need to chase after them, they'll come to you. Manifesting Generator's strategy is to visualize and inform. Your boldness is a force of nature. You forge ahead when inspired, which is often, and you stay busy. This causes you to miss amazing new opportunities. Slow down so you can respond and react to good things in your life. Projector strategy is to wait for recognition and invitation. Great leader, but sometimes you push yourself and others beyond capacity. Feels like calling me out. This can create friction. Take a step back and let others appreciate your work. When they inevitably invite you to do more, seize the opportunity. So reflectors strategy is openness. You reflect energies around you, which makes you naturally sensitive and ever-changing. It's your gift. Don't try to mask it so others feel more comfortable. Embrace your open nature and give yourself permission to chase life's mysteries. Don't worry about what others think, so they say. In this case, there's a little bit of what would come from me as a commentary on it. I have been good friends with some very sensitive people, and frankly, in their cases, it's that it's not often that they will be comfortable being open with you, and it's not often that sensitive people are comfortable being always open with anyone and everyone, because there's this kind of like thing like prejudice, judgment, biases, you know, and societal pressure, because like depending on what you say, it might backfire or people might get offensive, you know, or defensive regarding the situation or whatever you're saying. And let's face it, unless a person has went through their own kind of like inner, you know, shadow integration healing, you know, therapy, they get to be very defensive and very kind of like a hedgehog about things that are being told to them. Even right now, I have a person I know who's highly, highly defensive about anything I say. And that makes me feel like I'm a teacher in the kindergarten where I have like a 5-year-old who's getting like misinterpreting what I'm saying, and then based on their own experiences and patterns of like things done, they jump to conclusions instead of taking their time to understand where I'm coming from. So they are so yet to go through the therapy to get more understanding of like where the other person is coming from. So openness, even like in cases of just like being a person, it's quite you got to be ready for, you know, being told something back and people not liking you for it, and just being accepting that people might not be ready to hear what you gotta say, and that's also okay. So patience. There's also a note self theme to every single one of the, you know, manifest, generate, and everybody else. So for the manifest, the note self theme is anger. So if the manifester does not get to be kind of like active in their doings, pursuing their interests, creating, they get angry. So they're going to be like angry at everything, everyone, things, work, people. It's going to be like that. The generators is frustration. So not achieving the goals that they planned for, and then they're just frustrated that it's not getting, you know, as they wish it to be. With manifesting generators, it's impatience because they like to just highly pursue things at high speed, and they don't like taking their time with projects or things unless they kind of like work with all themselves with themselves. That's when it's no longer there, and they understand that every single project and every single endeavor needs a bit of time, and they got to be patient about it. With projectors, it's bitterness, can confirm. Because when me as a projector, when I was pursuing the same kind of like not self tendencies of trying to create things, trying to do events and projects, and trying to kind of like be out there and outgoing and getting in people's faces and trying to get things done, it was not working. It was genuinely not working. And that's where I was bitter, because I was like, but I'm doing so much, but I'm trying to get things done, but I'm pushing it out there and nobody needs it. Like, what the hell? And that in itself was actually a not the thing. So in my case, it was not me going out there 24/7 trying to do things and trying to be in people's faces. It's actually the reverse episode of just like focusing on my own things, putting it where I feel comfortable, putting it out there for the, you know, community or for the people to see, and just be ready that somebody's going to say, you know. So constructive criticism or highly, absolutely crazy stuff, but life. For reflectors, it's disappointment. So once again, it's, I think, more the part of being kind of like not necessarily feeling like, you know, for the potential of a person, because we have a tendency to see, you know, or to love a person or to like a person because of their potential. And once I heard this fantastic idea that we might love a person for their potential, because we see that potential as something we would have done in their place. If we would have these resources, these things, and these opportunities, that's what we would have done in their place. And that's the potential that's there. And the disappointment might be that that's what we would have done, seeing this potential, but that's not what that person would do or is doing, as they don't see it, or they don't find this potential to be the truth of what they wish to do. So, and on a side note, do not pursue that. If the potential is what you love in a person, but that person does not pursue that path of potential, drop it. It's not going to change. So there's certain parts of energy centers, a hub that corresponds to certain functions. On the chart, energy centers are represented by geometric shapes that are shaded in the colors of variance or white. If an energy center is shaded with a color, that means you'll connect strongly with that center. It's a fixed and reliable thing. If the center is white, it means you don't naturally connect to this area, meaning you're more vulnerable there. Think of these as your natural strengths and weaknesses. So if we look, oh my Jesus. I think I went too far off with it. Oh, there we go. So the head or the crown is inspiration. So if you have a defined center up top, it's inspiration. You're easily inspired. You're forever like, you know, with the ideas. It's really coming to you. Mind is conceptualization. So that's like creating something out of nothing, you know, or you compile a lot of information and then you can put the pieces back together. And now your puzzle is fit, and now you can, you know, kind of like explain it, push it forward, show it to the others. Third is communication. So it's basically you being able to communicate what you know, or communicate in general. It doesn't matter if it's your relationships or your relatives or at work. It's just like, if it's defined, you're good at communication. G center is self-identity. So you have, if that's colored, you have a set self-identity, which you know is there, and you're, you know, like trusting in yourself, and that's you, and that's believing. Heart is willpower. So it's like the second you set your, you know, mind to something and your heart is on something, that's exactly what you do. With spleen, it's intuition. So if the spleen is defined, your intuition is just freaking, you know. Sacral is life force, and there's solar plexus with emotions, and there's root with stress fuel. So if it's all defined centers, then it's basically the best kind of like meshed together. So undefined doesn't mean that it's bad, and defined doesn't mean that it's bad. Defined means that they are set and you can use them at full power. Undefined means that you can make anything out of them. So they're not definitive. They're not a, you know, a special type or special way of being. If once again we go back to my my thing, you can see that I only have 2 defined centers. Everything else is freaking, you know, all over the place. So that means I can basically make anything out of it and put kind of like fill in those you know, empty, that empty space with anything I deem valuable, or that I wish to be, you know, that definitive. So basically I can change it at the whim. If you do have a defined center though, you cannot necessarily change it, but there's like a set things that you will sort of believe in throughout your life, and that's going to be like your setting stone, your kind of like your lighthouse to which you return every now and again, and it's going to be like your like inside monument for yourself, to which you said to be like, yeah, this is me, and nobody else dares to freaking funk around with it. So that's kind of like the thing about it. So with me, it's like what, as you can see here, you click on it, define G center, thank you, and define throat center. So yeah, that. And there's also the gates. So each gate is also signifying some information of how it transcends in between it, and how it works out, and how it just kind of like correlates with things. With the chart, there's also some ideas on how to see these bits, kind of like these arrows. Some people say that these arrows show whether you can manifest things a bit more by envisioning it or by speaking it out loud. So either having it in your mind as imagination or actually acting on it. But in spiritual community, if you want something, you should act on it. So yeah, so there's, oh Jesus, I'm shedding. Human design time. So manifestor, initiator. Translate divine inspiration into action. Quantum purpose to initiate people into the frequency of transformation and creativity through direct access to the quantum pulse. Manifestors are here to get things started. They have unique bursts of intense energy that are followed by equally intense periods of rest. Manifestors' intensity is felt by everyone around them and inspires change in the lives of those they come in contact with. The generator is the alchemist, so that's also one of them things. Spiritual purpose is to turn inspiration into form, to physically manifest creativity and express true devotion. At 35% of population, generators are here to get stuff done. Generators are here to respond to the needs of the world and their seemingly endless energy and perfect for making real change. So then we have the manifesting generator, which is time bender. Turn inspiration into form, to physically manifest creativity to speed up the quantum process and linear time. If generators are here to get stuff done, manifesting generators are here to get a little bit of everything done. Generators tend to be focused in one area, while manifesting generators are good at a little bit of everything. they're trailblazers and inspirational to those around them. Maybe think about the terminology generalist. You know, it's came out recently. A generalist is a person that gets to know a little bit of everything and gets to be kind of like not necessarily a specialist in all of it, but because they pursue knowledge of a little bit of everything, you know, in each sector, in each work, job, thing, information, inquiry, book, form, whatever. They get to know a little bit of everything and how it works and where it's coming from. So journalists are pretty dope at being able to get more kind of like, because they compiled a lot of information about like all sorts of, you know, places and things. They are really good at making new ideas and kind of like creating ideas that are really hard to get to, because if you specialize in only solely one thing, you might not account for other things, you know. So it's like if you only, for example, specialize in building and construction, you might only know about, you know, items, you know, where to buy it, what to buy, how to build a house, what structure does it need, and how it has to be done from, you know, top to bottom. But when you're a designer, for example, you know, you specialize in designing a house, so you not necessarily know the intricacies of like everything that's about the structure on building, but you get to know about how to create it. And there's also the part which is the agency, for example, which connects people to it all, to be like, oh yeah, we're selling these houses. Do you want to build a house? What house do you want to build? What emotions do you want to, you know, fill this house? Like, what do you want to experience in it? And in this case, the generalist would be a person who knows every single bit, like a little bit of all of it. So it would be the person who would be able to have a communication with the people about what they want, you know, from their house. Also being able to draft up the house itself, and to be also knowledgeable about the you know, the place where it would be suitable the most, and the area, and the, for example, wildlife, a little bit about this and that, about how to, you know, make it the best so it withstands the weather conditions and any other kind of like issues depending on the region, and what kind of like, you know, temperatures there might be, or what kind of like, you know, natural disasters might be, you know, prominent in there. So generalist kind of gets to know a little bit about all of it, so you can like put out ideas that would benefit or help, at least in the process of thinking. So that's kind of like what I'm sort of thinking about manifesting generators. So projector is orchestrator, a spiritual purpose here to anchor the energetic template of what we are here to create, to align the energy of the world and heal the planet's energy, to hold the energy template, what's to come, and clear the vibration of the collective consciousness. At 20% of the population, projectors are here to guide the world. Projectors have a unique and intense gift of being able to truly see those around them and offer meaningful advice, hopefully. So reflector, calibrator, to be a barometer of the alignment of humanity with heart, to mirror to others the human condition and human potential. Representing less than 1% of the population, the reflector is the rarest of the human design types. A reflector is truly a unique, unusually sensitive person who must be in the right place at the right time, with the right people to experience true happiness. So there's a plethora of discovering what's out there, suggesting the links and the websites to see what's up, what you would like, and just to go deeply into all the possible experiences, and genuinely to see what you can figure out for yourself and what works, what not. But there we go. That's the human design.